This conference will now be recorded.
Good exercising. Yeah. Pressure on the.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Town Commission on January 4th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Thank you to all those who are listening to our live audio feed. Just a reminder that the live audio feed is no longer interactive. Those who wish to make public comment during the meeting are encouraged to attend in person in our socially distanced chambers or send comments to the town clerk prior to the meeting. Clerk Armstrong, will you please call the roll?
Mayor DeHassett,
Present.
Vice Mayor Cos,
Here.
Commissioner Bessler,
Here.
Commissioner Herbert, here, Commissioner Vichelette.
Here.
I invite you all to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So nice to have you here, Bill. Just in case we were listening to that. With a nice new haircut. All right, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Sorry, yes.
No. Okay,
We had one on the, sorry about that, on the minutes.
Oh, that's during consent agenda, right?
Oh, I'm sorry,
all right,
my bad.
no worries. Hearing none, I'll now entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
That is a motion by Commissioner Bessler, a second by Vice Mayor Cos. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to presentations. Town Manager Stevens, would you please present annual employee award?
Absolutely. It's my great honor to present the first annual employee awards. One of the first things I did when I became town manager was to create a new employee recognition program and assemble a team of volunteers to serve on the employee recognition committee. I want to thank our team of volunteers, Kathy Gatewood, who's in the audience, Courtney Hammond, who is a dispatcher, and Nubia Savino, who is a police officer with us, for helping to make this new program a success. The awards program recognizes the amount of effort that our employees put into their job every day and to assure them that those efforts are appreciated. I know that oftentimes in the hustle and bustle of our days, we may not show our appreciation as often or as effectively as we want to, and the awards program is a way to do just that. The program is designed to reward employee loyalty and outstanding service to the town. The awards presented at the first annual employee award ceremony on December 17th represent our appreciation and will serve as an ongoing reminder of employee achievements. We also threw in a couple of fun award categories to keep things interesting. Our first category is the Longevity Service Awards. We recognize and congratulate our employees who have completed up to 5, 10, 15, or 20 years of continuous public service by the end of 2020, and we thank them for their dedication and loyalty to the town of Ocean Ridge. It is a known fact that the most important resource of any town is its employees. We know that our success is dependent on having devoted and capable team members, and we want to recognize the contributions they have made during their career. The employees that receive service award certificates and lapel pins are therefore acknowledged and commended for their hard work and continuing efforts toward the achievement of making Ocean Ridge an amazing town to work and to live in. The employees that receive Longevity Service Awards are Sergeant Richard Ermery for 5 years of service, Dispatcher Courtney Hammond for 5 years, Lieutenant Richard Jones, 5 years, Sergeant Jimmy Pylon, 5 years, Reserve Officer Gene Rosenberg, 5 years, and he was 5 years as our dispatch part-time employee, but he has a very long tenure with the town of Ocean Ridge as a reserve officer as well. Sergeant Gary Roy, 5 years, Officer Nubia Savino, 5 years, Sergeant Rick Stang, 5 years, Public Works 2, Billy Armstrong, 10 years, Building Clerk Lisa Burns, 15 years, Police Officer Mario Galuccio, 15 years, Treasurer Gene Hallahan, 15 years, Police Chief Hal Hutchins, 15 years, Police Officer Robert McAllister, 15 years, and dispatcher manager Jessica Simpson for 15 years. So as you can see here, we have a lot of longstanding employees with the town. Our second category is for the employees who had perfect attendance in 2020, dispatcher Zoe Arnold, dispatcher Courtney Hammond, and Lieutenant Richard Jones. Each employee received a certificate of awesomeness and a $10 gift card from Wawa to keep them fueled up for the next year. We thank them for their dedication to the town. Our third category is the Growth Award. We couldn't choose between the two employees, so our Growth Award was presented to both Billy Armstrong in Public Works and Carla Armstrong this year in recognition of their growth and many accomplishments in 2020. Billy was promoted to Public Works 2 and took on a big challenge this past year when we lost 2 key employees in the Public Works department. He took on many additional tasks and made it look easy. He serves as a mentor and leader in his department. I'm inspired by his knowledge of the town, his reliability, and his willingness to help. He has worked hard with limited staff and resources and is called in frequently on nights and weekends for emergencies, and he never complains about that. I'm extremely proud of the way Billy has grown over the past year. And Carla first joined Ocean Ridge as an intern in 2016, and we noticed right away how quickly she could learn and grow. She was promoted to town clerk and deputy treasurer in 2019. Carla is extremely willing to help others and goes above and beyond her job description very frequently. She takes on any task that is thrown her way. She works many extra hours on nights and weekends without receiving overtime since she's an exempt employee with the town. She's here so late some nights that I have to remind her that she's not the Energizer Bunny and it's time to go home to rest and recharge for the next busy day that we know we're going to have. Carla's tenacity is going to take her very far in her career. Yay. We certainly couldn't function the same without both Billy and Carla on our team, and we thank them both. I was honored to present the Growth Awards to Billy Armstrong and Carla Armstrong, and a $10 gift card from Wawa to keep them energized. And now for the fun categories. The Bubbles Award was presented to Sergeant Jimmy Pylon for always having a bubbly and enthusiastic attitude. We all look forward to his smile and jokes throughout the day. The It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere Awards go to employees who are most eager to quit working for the day, dispatcher Zoe Arnold and police officer Stetson Marsh. We thank them both for showing us that there's more to life than work, and to have a little fun, because that's important too, to maintain a healthy work-life balance. And last but certainly not least, I was extremely honored to recognize our Employee of the Year, Lieutenant Richard Jones. Richard joined the town as a police officer 6 years ago and has evolved tremendously in his career ever since. After reaching his goals year after year, Richard made it up the ranks very quickly and is already serving as lieutenant and second in command to the chief. Richard is known for his focus, his reliability, and his cheerful attitude. When I need a problem solved, I go see him to tap into his creative thinking skills. I'm proud of him for all of the positive stories I hear from our employees and residents, and for going above and beyond day after day to help his fellow employees across all departments, and to assist his supervisors and also the residents. You'd think Richard was an aspiring firefighter since he puts out fires on many occasions, both figuratively and quite literally. Not only does Richard help to keep us safe, he is our go-to guy for all things. He writes policies, builds training programs and conducts training sessions, conducts investigations, takes care of our information technology needs, provides building maintenance, feeds us during storm events, answers phones, flow tests fire hydrants, takes care of the finances for the support group, and provides comic relief after a long day. He revamped the evidence program in the police department and helped us equip the commission chambers with new audio and video systems, these systems up here. He wired those in for us. He has served as therapist when we need to vent, janitor, carpenter, code compliance officer, animal control officer, EMT, dispatcher, acting chief, and even acting town manager during a storm event when I experienced a death in the family this past year and needed to leave town unexpectedly. And also the chief was on vacation at the same time. If you need your shoe tied, he probably wouldn't think twice about assisting with that too. He does all of this for us while going to school at night and also taking care of his family. We thank Richard for his many contributions over the past 6 years. The countless hours that he has spent and the professionalism that he has portrayed has impressed us all immensely. Seeing his diligence, self-motivation, and focus has been a sense of motivation for the rest of the team. Not only does he complete excellent quality work himself with a sense of passion, but he also shows compassion to his fellow employees and the residents of Ocean Ridge. And that is really what makes him stand out. He is always there to lend a helping hand, no matter how big the task, how dirty the task, or how hard the task. We have seen him help his coworkers time and time again. Furthermore, he does all of this with a fantastic attitude and willing disposition. His ability to fill an important leadership role and motivate others has resulted in helping us deliver a higher quality service to our residents. I hope that he continues next year with the same amount of energy and passion that he has shown throughout his career. Our Employee of the Year was presented with an award certificate and statue for his office, along with a $100 gift card to Longhorn Steakhouse. Please join me in congratulating our Employee of the Year, Lieutenant Richard Jones, and all of our award recipients.
Absolutely. Thank you, Town Manager Stevens. What a wonderful recognition for all of them, and I hope it becomes an annual event. And I hope next year the employees are able to actually attend in person, or would join us in person, so they could understand how much we appreciate them.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Clerk Armstrong, will you please read the announcements?
The next regular town commission meeting will be held on February 1st at 6 p.m. at Town Hall. The next planning and zoning commission meeting will be held on January 11th at 8 a.m. at Town Hall. The next Septic to Sewer Citizens Advisory Committee meeting is to be determined. Residents who wish to sign up to receive important town notifications and news through Civic Ready should sign up on the town's website or call Town Hall for assistance. Town Hall will be closed on Monday, January 18th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The annual municipal election will be held on March 9th, 2021. There are 2 town commission seats open for a 3-year term. Qualified candidates appearing on the ballot are Carolyn Cassidy, Christine DeHassett, John Kramer, and Jeff Pugh. Next on the agenda is public comment. The mayor will invite the public to speak on the commission on any item that is not printed on the agenda. Public comment on a specific agenda item may be made later in the meeting when the items are taken up. There is a one-time per item 3-minute individual limit for public comments that will be timed by the town clerk. Public comment is not meant to be a question and answer period, and there will be no dialogue. Anyone wishing to speak during public comment will approach the podium and state their name and address for the record. And see the town clerk after speaking to fill out a speaker card in order for the minutes to be properly recorded. All comments shall be directed to the presiding officers of the meeting and not to an individual commissioner, staff, or members of the public. The commission would like to remind everyone that language which includes profanity or cursing, or which is presented in an aggressive or threatening manner towards the town commission, staff, or other members of the public is prohibited. Those addressing the commission shall avoid personal attacks against anyone. The presiding officer has the authority to remove individuals from the commission chamber if such conduct persists, after the presiding officer provides a warning that the individual is in violation of this policy.
Okay, thank you. I now open the floor to public comment on any item that is not listed in the agenda. Wow, it's going to be a quick meeting. All right, thank you. Closed public comment. Town clerk, could you please read the consent agenda into the record?
Adopt minutes of the regular town commission meeting of December 7th, 2020. Approve budgeted expenditure of $4,375 to John Foster for legal services for November 2020. Approve budgeted expenditure of $742.40 to Robert Reynolds, Vidal and Tucio LLC for legal services for November 2020. Approve budgeted expenditure of $619,000 with $353.85 for the first installment of the City of Boynton Beach Fire Service Agreements for FY21. Approve a budgeted expenditure of up to $16,000 to Shenandoah for the cleaning of Tropical Drive Stormwater Pump Station.
Okay, I'll now entertain a motion. Oh, this is where you want to make a change?
Correction in the minutes, please.
Okay, perfect.
on page 5.
Okay,
I'm sorry, page 4 and page 5, the item number 4
Mhm.
on the minutes from last month. I want to correct that I abstained from the vote, and the motion to carry is not 5-0, it would be 4-0.
Okay. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other changes or additions? All right, I'll now entertain a motion on approving the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, that is a motion by Commissioner Hurlbert, I'm gonna get it right yet, and a second by Vice Mayor Cobb. All those in favor signify please by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries unanimously. Regular agenda item number 2. A review request by Deck and Drive Pavers for refund of their building permit fees. Are there any members of the commission that have a conflict of interest in regards to this item?
Yes, I have a financial stake in the 52 Club. I own property on Hibiscus Way, and they own shares in that. So I have to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you for the record. Town Manager Stevens, would you please advise us on this item?
Yes, of course. The contractor Deck and Drive Pavers on the project has requested 100% refund on their building permit. The permit charge was $280. Of that, the permit fee was $200, DCH surcharge and radon fees was $5, scan fee $25, and review fee $50. Town Code Section 6758 does not allow staff to provide any sort of refund after 60 days of application for a permit, or if the permit has been issued within 30 days of issuance of the permit. The application was applied for on July 22nd and was never issued due to failure on the applicant to verify ownership of the property. The parcel is within the jurisdiction of the town of Ocean Ridge, but the applicant must show that he is the sole owner of the authority to sign for a building permit. Town attorney Ryan wrote a legal opinion about this that was attached in your packet for reference. The town commission will need to make a determination on whether to refund the contractor the entire permit charge of $280 or a lesser amount. The town commission can choose to refund the entire balance or a lesser amount. Please note that the $5 DCA surcharge and radon costs are mandatory state fees that have already been paid to Tallahassee. Please note that town staff and the town attorney have spent countless hours discussing this permit and seeing what can be done. We have expended funds close to $400 in attorney fees regarding this matter. I listed section 6758 in your memo for you, so you know what the town code allows for.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to now open the floor to public comments. I'd like to now close public comment. Okay, I'll now open the floor for commissioner discussion. Vice Mayor Cos.
So I do not get this at all. The residents hire a contractor to put in pavers at the deck at the end of Adams Road. He comes to town, gets a permit for $280. And then he finds out that the owners have given him incomplete information, let's call it. And now the town, after having spent at least $400, is being asked to give the contractor the money that I think the residents should be given. So if it's a $280 fee, the residents ought to reimburse the contractor.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Best, oh, never mind. Sorry, just looking over there. Commissioner Hurlbert.
I'm working in the same direction as Vice Mayor Cos because of the money that we have expended. I understand totally that who knew? Obviously, nobody knew when they came and started the project. Probably should have the information together ahead of the game, but did not. So I definitely don't believe that they deserve the full amount back. If anybody else is of the option of to a percentage to help them with, then I wouldn't be against that, but I don't believe a full refund is necessary here.
Okay, Commissioner Fisher.
This is a question to staff. Did we scan anything As far as this permit is concerned?
No.
We didn't scan anything. Did we review anything other than the legal status of the applicant?
There any?
As far as the papers are concerned,
Yes, a review was done of the application. Also, it's an unusual application. Historic review was also done to look at permit that was issued a few years ago and to analyze, the conditions under which, the permit ought to be granted. This actually happened when we had Brian, and there was multiple conversations to figure out one, how the permit was actually issued previously, and another one, circumstances we need to look at and what are the guidelines. Ultimately, the lot is owned by or controlled by 52 members, and there was not a consensus from the 52 members as to this application.
right,
So there was multiple hours that was actually spent on this in addition to legal fees.
yeah, no, I get that point. So you did review the actual application.
Yes. I had multiple meetings also with the people.
So my suggestion, or my thinking in this whole matter would be, these $280 are broken up between the permit fee, the DCA surcharge, which we already paid to the county, a scan fee of $25, which we haven't used because we didn't scan anything, and a review fee of $50, which we now have confirmation that there was a review. So my refund is not blanket, keep the 280, based on that we have the actual breakdown as to how these 280 come about. But do the 280 minus the 25 scan fee, which has not been used up. And I understand that our town is in a position where we spend more money on this particular application than what we're retaining here. But to be fair, yeah, there is sometimes we are upside down, and most of the time, a permit application is a profit application as far as the town is concerned. This is one of those where we're upside down in it, but I don't think we should not reimburse them for the $25 specifically for the scan. So I would retain the 280 minus the 25 and refund them. Would be my suggestion.
Okay. Mr. Guy, you just mentioned that this has been going on quite a long time and that in the past, either they submitted another permit or they had been approved a permit. Which is that?
Yes, in the past, they were granted a permit to do improvements to the property.
So clearly they felt like they were they weren't trying to pull a fast one by coming in and submitting another permit.
That's
Okay.
How did the contractor end up fronting the money for the permit fee?
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Some of them do.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On condo projects where it's big corporations, the contractor fronts the money.
This
They
is a
know they
big
get-
job. But to your point, Martin, one thing you're not taking into account is we spent $400 on lawyers on this.
I do.
And Durrani, or in here it says countless hours
Oh.
of review.
I
So
do.
that's Durrani's time,
I
Lisa's time. So we're already in the hole, probably, but guesstimating.
hundreds of dollars.
Right.
Yes.
And-
totally.
Even if 25 of the 52 people want this improvement, that's $11 each. I mean, I just can't believe the town's being sucked in.
No, as I said, I would reimburse them only the $25.
Oh, I misheard you.
Right.
Okay. Only the $25 because that has not been used of this particular breakdown. Everything else has been used up or has been forwarded to,
And like we said, they came in good faith, assuming from having received it before that there wasn't going to be
I consider it a private,
this
Dispute.
this little mess up that's changed.
it's a private dispute and we're being asked to,
Well, that's why I said, but I'm also giving, the way we work is trying to give the benefit of the doubt that this wasn't a way to make it more complicated than it needs to be, hence the concept, which I don't have a problem with your suggestion. I was saying instead of 100%, how can we leave some help for them? So that is me.
Okay. So would somebody please like to make a motion on refunding the building permit or a portion of the building permit fees for Deck and Drive?
We want to make a motion to refund the contractor Deck and Drive pavers a portion of the original permit charge of $280. That refund of $25 for the scan fee that has not been used. They shall forfeit the remaining balance of $255.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 4-0.
You got to say with the abstention, or is it already on?
It's on the record.
It's on the record. Okay, agenda item number 3. To approve amendments to the construction site manual handbook. Town Manager Stevens, will you please advise us on this item?
Certainly, at the joint meeting of the Town Commission and Planning and Zoning Commission in October, the commission discussed construction site management, construction fences, and flood mitigation. There was a consensus by the commission to direct staff to look into what could be done to mitigate flooding on active construction sites. Staff met and discussed the issues and amended the construction site management handbook that is attached for your review. Now, you received a handbook in your packet, but you also were handed a new one in front of you this evening. I just wanted to point your attention to the changes that were made to the parking section of that. The changes that were made after we met with you all one-on-one are in red on the document. All the other changes are in green. If approved, we'll begin using the new version immediately in the building department. If you have any questions or concerns, I can answer those for you this evening.
On that, I do have a question, but I'll now open the floor to public comment first. I'll now close public comment. I'll now open the floor for commissioner discussion. Vice Mayor Cos?
Well, I think 12 months is going to be nip and tuck for most builders, but Durrani assures me it's doable. And more importantly, Steve Varga, who probably does the most building in town, says it's doable. So I'm kind of against this whole concept because I think it's going to fail. Because as I pointed out to Durrani in my staff meeting, when let's say you finished everything in your house, but the coping on the pool or the deck on the pool. So now you're expected to pay 30% of your permit fee. So Durrani assured me that that won't happen, that he'll only charge them 30% of their pool fee, which is contrary to what this says, number one. And number two, if it does get passed, I would suggest that we attach to it a memo that the town manager bring the reviews, that the commission reviews this in 1 year to see if it worked or if it caused tremendous friction with the builders, Durrani, and the town.
And where are you notating the 12-month beginning to end portion?
That's what this whole thing's about.
So Steve, just so you know, in our code,
Yep.
there's a time frame for construction, and that's 1 year. And that's been on the books for a long, long
Right.
time.
But it's been, Durrani has had, Durrani and Wayne had a leniency to it if there was progress.
Right. and
Right.
Well,
This
they
now
still
says
do.
no.
They can do a 6-month extension according to town code.
Extension or
Yes.
permitted extension?
Permit extension for 6 months.
Yeah, but does that cost you a permit?
No, it does
No, it
not.
does not.
No.
Is that true, Durrani? Because that's not the conversation I had with.
According to town code, he can do an administrative 6-month extension. And then anything after that can come to the town commission for another 6-month extension, according to town code.
Is that how you operate?
That is correct, that's what.
Okay.
But the thing is,
That's
we've
not
been
what
very
you told
lenient
me.
on- We haven't been
Excuse me?
enforcing that strictly.
Pardon?
We have not been enforcing that strictly.
But there is nothing within the handbook.
Yeah, where do you see that in the handbook?
It came up in the staff meeting I had with you guys, that you had to have your house finished within a year.
But is it in the handbook though?
No, I don't understand it.
I don't think it is.
That is not-
No, because you guys referenced it, it's in the code. That's what.
Okay.
So what's before us tonight is the handbook.
Right.
But I appreciate that
But-
cross-reference to it, because that's,
Right, which is what I'm saying, we're making life more complicated for the contractor, and we have a year time limit. I was unaware that you could extend for 6 months, because I was told that's not true in my staff meeting.
No,
okay,
you
but
can't.
that is a separate issue, so maybe we should bring that up again and focus maybe tonight on the handbook. Commissioner Bessler?
I'm pretty much fine with all the changes to December. I'm okay with it.
All right, Commissioner Hurlbert.
I'm fine with it. We had the same discussion with Ronnie with the year's time actually being very doable and extensions when there's an issue and something comes up. I think it's pretty much covered there.
And if I may, we do have a separate item that will be coming to the commission as directed by the town commission and the planning and zoning commission regarding construction timeframes. So that's going to be coming at a separate time. So we can discuss that as well.
Okay.
Good.
And also, Vice Mayor, we have the technical amendments to the code that we're working on currently, which is the adoption of the Florida Building Code. The first portion of that is the administrative portion, and the town has adopted our own amendments to that. And we're updating it from 2017 to 2020, which is the current code that is in use.
Okay, thank you.
So the timing piece that you're working on, is that headed in the direction of 1 year at this point? Is that what you're telling me? Or is that something else?
It depends. We're going to kind of try to tie a construction bond and everything to the timeframe. So it's a work in progress. So I'm not sure where it's going to go yet. It could move from 12 months to 18 months. We're still in discussions.
And I do know in other municipalities, sometimes their time is based on a sliding scale on
Yeah.
the size.
Like that house that we disliked that's been going on for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I refuse to believe that can be built in even 18 months. You know?
I refuse to
triangle.
live in them though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, now-
Yeah, and
Yeah,
a safe
of course.
zone.
Yeah.
would take longer.
Yeah.
You're correct.
All right, Commissioner Michelak.
I think they built the Empire State Building.
Right.
Ridiculous, it was back in, what?
38.
So, yeah. They could, they wanted to. I'm pretty much okay with it. On the off-site damage, we have that town can impose the construction bond as specified in section 6561 of the town code. One of the things that I observed in some of the constructions that were going on over the last 2 years is that the damage is not necessarily to the property itself or to the directly neighboring properties. Sometimes the damage can be just down the street where it's on a curve. And I had this one owner, when I walked the streets, he was putting new sod in this curb. And I asked him, what happened? And he said, well, the construction trucks from up the street, they turn around and there's this big 18-wheelers.
Yep.
And the 18-wheelers in our streets really have a hard time because of the narrowness of the streets. So they were constantly, he was on the 5th replacement of sod within less than a year. And felt sorry for him. So those are things that I would like to make you aware of, Guy, at the Randy, that we can look at, hopefully too, that some of these residents get properly compensated from the construction side, especially where it's obvious. Sometimes it's not that obvious. Yeah, otherwise good. Thank you.
All right. I'll now entertain a motion of approving the amendments to the construction site management handbook.
I move to approve, shall I say the latest version of the construction site management handbook revision?
I'll second it.
That is a Motion by Commissioner Hurlbert, and a second by Commissioner Bessler. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, agenda item number 4, to approve the escrow amount with the Palm Beach County Clerk and Controller. Town Manager Stevens, please advise on this item.
In the past, our town attorney has recorded our court filings for us in person at the courthouse. And in an effort to save money for the town, I'm requesting that we sign an escrow agreement with the Palm Beach County Clerk and Comptroller to set up an escrow account for court filings. The escrow account will enable us to file our documents online and pay through the escrow account as opposed to paying our town attorney to perform that service for us.
All right. I'll now open the floor to public comment. Public comment is now closed. I'll now open the floor for commissioner discussion. Vice Mayor Cos?
A big thank you to Pam, because I understand that she's the one that's is dragging it into 2021, saying that other communities have been doing this for a long time. So this saves us hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars.
Yes, it was quite comical. She was given the documents to submit to the court, and she said, "What is this?" And we said, "Court documents to file for us." And she said, "Honey, are you having me do this? Who does this?"
This is much more efficient.
Yes, much more.
Huge costs.
Yes, it is.
Commissioner Bessler?
Say the same thing. Thank you, Pam. And when we see Brian, let's give him a.
Gold.
Yeah, maybe he liked going up there. I don't know. Okay, Commissioner Hurlbert.
I'm good with this.
Commissioner Vishalak? Okay, I'll now
It came from you, thank you. Sorry.
I'll now entertain a motion for approving the escrow agreement with the Palm Beach County Clerk and Controller.
I move to approve the escrow agreement with the Palm Beach County Clerk and Comptroller to set up an escrow account for court filings.
I'll second.
All right, that is a motion by Vice Mayor Cos, a second by Commissioner Hurlbert. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5, the acceptance of the Infrastructure Tax Citizens Oversight Committee Annual Report for 2020. Town Manager Stevens, please advise us on this item.
The Infrastructure Surtax Citizens Oversight Committee is charged with meeting annually in accordance with the Palm Beach County Ordinance 2016-032, Section 7D, to provide an annual report to the Town Commission detailing the revenue received for the infrastructure surtax and the corresponding expenditures. The committee met on December 21st, and their annual report is attached for your review. They have recommended to the Town Commission that the revenue remain in the account and to continue to accumulate at this time. And that also was a discussion in the Septic to Sewer Citizens Advisory Committee meetings that happened last year as well.
Okay, I now open the floor to public comment. Public comment is now closed. Open the floor for commissioner discussion. Vice Mayor Cos.
I'm fine.
Commissioner Bessler.
Same way. I think we have some future infrastructure issues coming up, so I think we need to save as much as we can for the future.
Okay, Commissioner Hurlbert.
Totally agree.
Commissioner Vishalak.
Same.
I'll now entertain a motion for accepting the 2020 annual report of the Infrastructure Surtax Citizens Oversight Committee.
I'll second.
That is a motion by Commissioner Vishalak, a second by Commissioner Bessler. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to staff reports, agenda item number 6, Planning and Zoning Vice Chair Carey, will you please present the Planning and Zoning report?
Good evening, Commissioners. Your package includes the report of their last meeting, December 21. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
It looks like you had a very productive meeting. I was excited by a lot of the conditions that you actually imposed, and I hope that that is something that continues on, because I think it's to the
Right.
benefit of the town.
I'd like to compliment our new town attorney. She's given us good guidance as to how to make motions, how to add conditions, and I think it's going to serve us well in the future.
Okay, is there anybody on the commission that has any questions for Mr. Carey?
The only thing was that house at the 21 Ocean Avenue. I don't know, actually it goes to site planning, so you'd be involved in this. But that guy's going to abut the DOT drainage pond.
Yes.
And the DOT is also coming in to burn that drainage pond at some point. So I don't know how we keep an extra sharp eye on this guy.
We were quite shocked that there was
Yeah,
a usable lot there.
it's amazing.
But it is, and he's the title holder, and he has the same rights as others if he complies with our town code. This was one that we had a lot of questions about and had them do some revisions and reviewed it 2 months. And even in the final revision, we added additional conditions on the west elevation because you'll see the side of this house as you come across the bridge. There is also an FPL easement to the rear that goes in to Hudson, and the applicant said that they've met with FPL and are satisfied that the access is still going to be there. But
So he's got electricity and water. and
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, if we all had, I wish this property was part of the drainage and had been put in the drainage property originally, but it didn't. And he has the same property rights as any other property.
So that was my next question, which I go goes to Pam. Can FDOT, like, they're investigating this and they telling us they're gonna fix it. What happens if they come in 4 months? And can they do an eminent domain on a piece of his property?
They could. Didn't he buy the property from FDOT? I feel like it was part of their option that they owned.
That's before we complain.
He used to be a previous owner.
Right, they had an agreement with the owner to use that as a, like, sort of driveway when they did maintenance and everything.
Okay, but yes, yes, if they could think about eminent domain, if they found that they needed it, but of course it would cost them a lot more once he puts a house on
It's a big house.
it really escalates in value. If they felt like they needed it, they really should have bought it.
Right.
for now. This is really
Exactly right.
And is this gentleman aware of all this?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
yes, he is.
Shocking.
And
Must be a
this
book lover.
this is a husband and wife, sophisticated real estate developer. They represent that they're building it for themselves, but maybe not.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, agenda item number 7, Town Manager Stevens, will you please present your town manager's report?
Absolutely. In the month of December, we celebrated the following employee anniversaries with the town. Building clerk Lisa Burns, 18 years. Sergeant Rick Stang, 7 years. Police officer Mario Crucio, 16 years. And dispatcher Zoe Arnold, 4 years. We thank them for their service and dedication to the town. The annual municipal election will be held on March 9th. Candidates running for town commission are Carolyn Cassidy, Christine DeHasseth, John Kramer Jr., and Jeff Pugh. We received our annual Truth in Village Trim certification by the Department of Revenue. This certifies that the town of Ocean Ridge followed all of the rules and regulations for our budget process for this year. The certification was attached in your packet for review. On December 12th, we held our first annual Cruising Santa event where town commissioners and staff cruised the town with Santa and Mrs. Claus on golf carts and handed out holiday candy and dog treats to our residents and furry friends. The event was held in a safe, socially distanced manner, and we all had a blast spreading holiday cheer to our friends and neighbors. We want to thank those who donated their golf carts for this event, Gary and Penny Kaczynski, Richard Lucabella, and Marie and Glenn Chapman. Their generosity is very much appreciated. The town partnered with the Palm Beach County Health Department to provide free COVID-19 testing to the public on December 14th. The health department administered 197 tests that day, which is a really great turnout since they were only here from 9 to 4. The Public Works Department installed 2 dog sanitation systems along Old Ocean Boulevard in an effort to clean up the area. We are continually monitoring this and may install more in the near future. They've been really well received and very well used. Our tree inventory has been completed and staff was trained on how to use the software recently. The inventory has already proven to be useful as we were able to save a few specimen trees along Edith Street that were going to be taken down during construction. We will continue to use this valuable tool to help keep Ocean Ridge beautiful and environmentally friendly. Town staff has been working alongside the town's vendor, Raftellus, on a water service area analysis for the past couple of weeks. We hope to complete this work within the next few months, so we are in a better position to negotiate our potable water contract in 2021. I have great news for you. Our iguana control company agreed to service Ocean Inlet Park for us at no additional cost. We received a letter from the county giving iguana control permission to enter their property, and they have already begun servicing the area for us. This will help us a great deal because a lot of the iguana population comes from that area in the north end. The state has been changing the rules frequently for who will receive COVID-19 vaccines and when. The health department estimates that the vaccine will be available to the general public around April or May of this year and will be administered through Walgreens and CVS, though the governor is accelerating that timeframe for residents of Florida who are 65 and over. I just wanted to give you a little update on that too. The Florida Department of Health, Palm Beach County, has announced they are scheduling appointments for vaccinations for residents 65 or older. The hotline number to call is 561-625-5180. And also, the health department has indicated that the vaccine availability is a rapidly developing effort with new information coming each day from the state. They have asked that we direct people with questions related to the vaccines to their healthcare provider or call the Florida Health COVID-19 24-hour hotline at 1-866-779-6121. They can also visit the website for more information. And we posted all of that information on the town's website so people could go and receive that information readily. There have been questions recently as to why the town of Ocean Ridge is not setting up to be a closed pod to administer the vaccinations for our 65 and over population, and similar to what the town of Palm Beach has registered to do. So I just wanted to let you know that there is a certain process that towns must go through, an application process and an approval process to do that. And because we do not have a fire EMS department or medical director or anybody on staff who can administer vaccinations, we can't really do that program successfully. So initially we had signed up for closed pod status when Palm Beach County was going to assist and provide that person to do the vaccinations for us. But they changed their rules midstream, and now we are not eligible because we don't have the personnel to administer. And nor do we have the cold storage that is necessary to store the vaccines throughout the process. So I hope that information helps, but if you have more questions, again, let me know, or certainly call the hotline number for the health department. Let's see. Palm Beach County extended the emergency order for a mask mandate until January 20th. They'll probably extend it again. They've been extending it every month. Today, I sent you all an email, my annual town manager evaluation form. My anniversary with the town is today, so that means my evaluation is due. So if you wouldn't mind filling that out and sending it in, we'll put an item on the February town commission agenda for that. And then also while we're talking about human resources related items, as is the case annually, it's my duty to inform you that the police chief's employment contract will automatically renew on April 6th unless written notice is given 60 days in advance by either us or the chief not to renew it, which that date would be February. And that concludes my report.
So we need to put that last item on an agenda item, right?
Okay, thank you.
So,
Is it 5 or 6 years? Congratulations, and I think it's very ironic that we actually have a commission meeting this evening.
Yeah.
I had 2 quick questions. The dog sanitation systems, like you said, have been very well received. I would love to look into maybe putting one at town hall, and just research the cost and things like that. And then if we could also ask Agana Control, if it is not too detrimental or too much of a burden to them, to at least for the first couple of months track what their capture rate is.
They actually give us those numbers, but you want the numbers for the park itself?
Just broken out separately, rather than in a cumulative. It'd be interesting to see.
Sure.
the kill rate.
Yeah. Capture. Let's just say capture. Capture is a nice word.
So Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, the one additional thing, just in case anybody from Spanish River is listening, and Rick's here, January 11th, they're gonna start sending the cameras through your drainage system.
Actually, Steve, I have good news. I think they're gonna start this week.
This week,
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
This week.
Tracy, I had actually 2 or 3 quick comments on the public works on the dock stations. I met with Billy when he was installing them. And I asked him that when we have these long weekends or longer weekends or weekends where we know that there's a lot of traffic on certain stations, if we can, in addition to our regular trash cans, just get one of those plastic bins out there.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same
especially on
thing.
beach side, right? We were talking about it.
Beachwood.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly right, because you're overflowing.
We
Yeah.
we
The other
end
one
up
as well.
bagging it ourselves.
Yeah,
And
And
so what's
Stella,
happening?
she actually reaches into the trash can.
Yeah, so what's happening is people are actually cleaning up the beach and they're
Right.
taking the panels and putting it.
And that was the other one where I told him that, there used to be a trash can by Porter Street. There used to be a trash can down by the beach.
Yeah.
And this was like where people that just walk up and down the beach. We had one on Anna Street too.
Right.
And they would, just dump their stuff in there, whereas the other trash can was used for everybody that was walking along Old Ocean.
Right, we've already been discussing it, so you'll
Okay,
see that in the future more.
That was one thing, and then the bullet points that we discussed in the last meeting, did you guys make any headway on that to implement something like that?
So what we're doing is we are doing a PR campaign in January, and we're going to be doing a survey to gather information from the public on how they would like to see the communication enhanced with the town, and what sort of like social media or email or text messages that they would like to utilize the most, or what they utilize, so we can gather that information and enhance our communication with the town.
I think that bullet point, there was obviously there's a lack, and we should try to make an effort.
Absolutely. Yep, we're focusing on it in January. That's one of our big focuses.
On the potable water, when is that contract? I know we had a 1-year extension on it. When does that contract expire?
I believe it's November of this year.
Okay, so we have until November to negotiate a proper and the proper contract would be, a 5-year?
Our last one was 30-year,
A
so it's,
30-year.
right, so it will depend.
So are we renegotiating a 30-year, or we're not 100%?
We don't
That's
know
part of
yet.
the discussion. And that's one of the things that it's kind of near and dear to my heart, so
Yeah,
I've poked my head under the tent for that one.
I got a couple of suggestions too.
All right.
I'll take them
Give
all.
him to your town manager.
I will.
You can't give him to me.
No,
Raftellus is working on the water service area analysis for us now. They've been doing the data gathering. We've been working really hard with them to get that going. So it'll be a few months gathering data and doing that.
very.
All right, thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 8. Town Attorney Ryan, do you have anything to report?
I don't have a written report, but I would like to say a few things. I've been here for a couple of months now. Can you hear me with this thing?
It's hard.
And I want to thank Tracy for introducing me first to the zoning board of adjustment. We had phone conferences with each one of the members where I was able to introduce myself and we were able to prepare for our first meeting. We've had 2 meetings. It was my understanding that zoning board of adjustment didn't have meetings for years. We've already had 2, and I think we have another one coming up very soon. So we're meeting quite a bit. Last month, we met with the members of the planning and zoning board. I thank the vice chair for his comments. They were very productive meetings. We met in person with each of the members. We talked about the things that they do. We're trying to refine some things that I think will be positive for the board and for the commission. And we have a lot of ordinances that we will be presenting. So we'll be busy in the next few months. I will be sending you an updated litigation memo.
Thank you.
Didn't know how often those were done. So I'm coming up to speed, and if there's anything that you need from me, anything that I'm missing, just let me know. I'm one phone call away, and very eager to make sure that I don't, slack off on any of the services that you want. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. You're a welcome addition. All right, Police Chief Hutchins, agenda item number 9. Would you please present your report?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We had a very uneventful New Year's weekend.
Yay!
Very big beach weekend, but other than that, very uneventful and pleasant weekend throughout. The November 2020 monthly report is attached for your review. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have on that. If not, I need to make some thank yous. First and foremost is to everyone for the generosity during our 2nd annual holiday toy drive. We may be renting a truck next year, which is a wonderful thing. I've set the challenge and offered to rent the truck if we can fill it. But we filled 2 police SUVs and a private SUV because they have more room in them and delivered that many toys, which is probably double what we have. It's absolutely phenomenal. We can't thank you enough. Writing out live and cannot. In addition, I just want to thank everyone for the last year's support to the police department and the town in general. It's been an unusual year. We faced some unusual challenges together. I've never had to work my way through a pandemic. Anthrax was pretty close, but not quite that bad. I think the town, in its own way, has conquered that very well and as best we can. And I hope that we all have a better 2021 and return to some level of. I need to thank you all for your support during those times. Because as the town manager said, we didn't forget to go through hurricanes or other emergencies. I think your direction was very well done and very well received by the community and the
All right, thank you, Chief. All right, agenda item number 10, the town engineer and public works report was included in our meeting packages. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? It just seems to get longer and longer. Yes, it's absolutely a lot. All right, moving on to agenda item number 11, the building official. Guy, would you please like to present your building official's report?
Yes, good evening again, everybody, and Happy New Year. Please accept the report as read that we have in our packages. I'd also like to add a field observation report of a project we have going on in the town right now, which is our seawall replacement, which is impacting the closure, temporary closure of the Anna and Edith Street crossovers. Work on the seawall replacements began around the 2nd of December for the Anna Street and around the 9th of December for the Edith Street crossovers. And to date, the following have been completed. They've cleared vegetation. We must add, with our inventory, we're able to identify a few trees on the Edith crossover that we worked with the contractor to screen off and to preserve. We have the installation of warning and directional signs, installation of security fencing. The crossovers were gravelled to stabilize the soil for the movement of heavy equipment. It was the delivery of the heavy equipment. Additional soil was added to create ramps. Heavy equipment was moved down to the lower beach area. We had the piles that were delivered, and then we had a machine that's there now doing the pushing of the piles. The beach area has remained open to the public for the entire duration of the project today, with the expectation that the beach use of the public will continue, with the contractor utilizing appropriate fencing to separate the public from proximity of heavy equipment. The contractor has been steadily working, and to date, 75% of sheet piles have been installed close to the Anna Street portion of the project. And in your packages also, we have a few pictures of the work that has been progressing. Thank you.
Can I just add to that really quickly? I want to thank Commissioner Hurlbert for her determination in helping to save those historic and specimen trees on the Edith Street crossover. She did a lot of work and even called the contractor to help in saving those trees.
Well, I want to say, I went and walked today. I walked the beach to see how it's all coming along. And those contractors do a very neat and tidy job of their area. And you walk down there, Martin, it's just completely safety fenced. They stay where they need to stay, and they are moving and shaking. So, are you happy with them, guys?
I am. Yeah.
They're a very good contractor. to
I
work
think
with.
so too. And when I had to speak with them, they couldn't have been more pleasant. And what can we do to help?
And receptive.
Receptive.
And is it still on absolute schedule or ahead of schedule?
They're on schedule. We're hoping no delays. They should actually complete at least half of it, ahead of schedule. But let's see. Hopefully, cross your fingers, knock on wood, that we don't have it today. But they're moving.
I'd like to, and thank you so much for the update, and thank you for bringing it to the public's attention. I'd like to make sure that this stays as part of our website updates. So anybody at any time can go in and take a look at it just to see what's happening and what's going on. And obviously, Mr. Guy is always available to any resident who has any questions or concerns. So keep that door open. Thank you. All right, I think that leads us to the very end. Mayor update. Chief beat me to it, but Happy New Year. I'm delighted to put 2020 in the rearview mirror, as I'm sure a lot of you are. I just want to update you on some of the meetings I participated in as your mayor. At the recent Briney Commission meeting, they publicly thanked us at the town for including them in their COVID testing. They had a lot of residents who actually took advantage of it. And they said that they would reciprocate when they bring their bloodmobile to Briney. And the reason that they said that is the bloodmobile now, if you are donating blood, they will also offer you the antibody test at the same time if you would like it. And I know that we are starting to check in to see if we could potentially get on that cycle also. Briney's been doing it for years, but I think it's mainly because of the free movie passes. There may be a different motivation these days. Yeah, I participated via Zoom on the monthly Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council meeting and the Florida League of Cities Mayor's calls. I think it's been very beneficial for the town to learn what other initiatives of other municipalities, how they're pursuing them and how they're tackling the challenges. And they also seem to be very appreciative of our small town barrier kind of island input and perspective. I'm dealing with people who are running St. Augustine and Boynton Beach and everything, and they're like, you only have your problems are in that, you know, it is good for the exposure in both directions. If you're interested, there's a Palm Beach County Public Workshop hearing on January 7th, which I'll be attending, and also January 21st. This is our opportunity for any member of the public to speak directly to a county commissioner as a sitting and residing body. The only thing is you must submit comments prior. So if you're interested in that information, you can either get that from myself or from the town manager. And last but not least, I'll also be participating in the Palm Beach County Issues Forum on January 29th and welcome any input from the public or my fellow commissioners as to the issues that we might like to see addressed and talked about publicly with other municipalities. So I always welcome that. So, and one would think I should be a Zoom aficionado, and I still forget to mute myself. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Are there any other town commissioner comments at this time? Thank the public for coming. We would like to go ahead and adjourn at 7:06.
Thank you all for a nice efficient meeting.